Hello, everybody. Give me just 5 seconds here because I am still trying to get set up. Set up. Oh, yes, I'm set up. Yay! Woohoo! Wellness Wednesday. Wow. And I'm here and I'm well. And I'm super excited about tonight. I hope that we will start getting people pouring in here in just a few minutes. There we go. Yes. Woohoo! Bring them on. And I want to bring her on. Yeah. I was trying my best, but my clocks are off. Oh, I see y'all coming in. Hi, guys. You're going to love this. You're going to love Wendy. And let's just pray for a wonderful evening without freezing or glitching. Yes, it's adding right now, so I'm waving at y'all. Share. I always say share, and then it glitches, and I'm like, oh, glitch when I add somebody. Here we go. Hello, beautiful lady.
Hi.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
I'm good.
Considering the day, oh my gosh, the sun is shining on me, so I must be doing something right.
You must be. Just being your beautiful self. That's plenty.
Oh yes, I'm just. Oh, gosh, forgive me for being like I don't know. My big microwave went out, and it was my biggest clock in the house, and it always sat right here, so I could always look in. And my coffee pot reset, so none of my times are right. I'm like, what time is it for real?
It's time to hang out with me. That's the only time that matters.
Yes, and you know, the thing is, the only time that Wendy and I have got to do any type of live together was when we were at KetoCon, and that was actually when we actually got to meet face to face. And I tell you what, in the words of Dory, I love her face. Oh my gosh, I adore Wendy. I mean, she's like family to me. Another keto sister. Thank you, Debbie. We are looking fabulous, darling. Fabulous.
We are. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Wendy, because I don't think we've ever done a live together. I think one time we popped in, like you were trying to save me or rescue me once or something like that. Other than that, we haven't had the opportunity to do a live. So this is a first for us. First of hopefully many, many more, because I just, like I said, I love this lady. I'm going to cough for a second. Forgive me. There we go.
That's okay, because everybody's listening to my air conditioning. I decided I was going to hang out outside because it's beautiful here in Ontario, but my air conditioning's running out here, and in my office is the laundry, and the laundry's running, so you're getting the less of the evil noises.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, I was wanting to do an outdoor one because it is so pretty out right now, but my husband's Uncle Johnny, who's like almost 90, he's outside playing with his motor on his boat, and it is god-awful. He lives right next door, and it's like blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, we'll do the indoor thing, but it's nice and cool in here. So, Wendy, look at your big Canadian cup. All right. I want you to tell us a little bit about you. I know she has her own group. It's a spiritual-based keto, carnivore, healing, namaste, zen place. Tell us all about it.
So my name's Wendy Faye. My husband and I embarked on a ketogenic journey because my husband was diagnosed with prostate cancer December 19th, 2016. It was not a happy Christmas in our house. I told a friend of mine that he had this diagnosis, and she said, you need to look at a ketogenic diet. And I said, a what? And she said, you're just going to have to research it. And, you know, that's music to my ears. I love doing research, so that's all good. So I hopped in and realized very quickly that I needed to get my mind right, because this was like nothing I'd ever seen before. So I spent my first month just getting my head on straight. Then I hopped in. And here's the thing. I had tried everything, right? Like I had tried Weight Watchers, and I had tried all the different things. And, you know, I'd eaten 6 times a day, and I'd done paleo, and I'd done all those things. And I was still sick and broken and all that stuff. So I had no faith that keto was going to work for me. My before pictures are actually from a year before, because zero faith. My measurements are all from before. You know, I didn't take initial pictures and measurements, which you should do, guys. Can I just tell you how much I regret that now? I really regret it now. So if you're starting out, Take your pictures. I don't care that you don't love yourself enough to do it. I don't care that you don't like what you see in the picture. Just take the picture. You'll thank me later. Take the measurements. So we go along. I start losing weight. My husband jumps on with me. He starts losing weight. I was just doing it to see if it would fit in our life. The long story short is we reversed his prostate cancer without medication.
Yes.
We, as a side effect for me, I had a laundry list as long as my arm of things that were wrong with me that the doctors were either not treating or saying couldn't be treated, or I'd have to live with it. They were all a whole bunch of you got to live with it syndromes. I have bipolar disorder, which I have also completely reversed using the ketogenic diet.
Yes. Yes.
I have 0 symptoms since June of last year. Thank you, God.
Amen. Yes. Yes.
Amen. So keto's really healing. It's been a really crazy journey for us. And as I've been going along, I have been doing a lot of tweaking. I've had adrenal fatigue. I've had all kinds of problems, rosacea, things that weren't going away. And then when we went to KetoCon, we were in a position where we thought we had more cooking facilities than we did. We also thought we had more time than we did.
We also thought we were going to do a lot more than we did.
Yes, we also thought we were going to eat a lot more than we did, which we didn't because it was hot. We were busy. And when in Texas, you do what the Texans do and you eat barbecue. Yes, and you eat a lot of barbecue.
We got on it.
We did. The problem is that for Dory and Nancy, and here's where we're going, is that my keto's not your keto and your keto's not my keto. Nancy and Dory were dying. They were dying. By day 2, they couldn't poop. They were cranky. They were miserable. They were fading like limp flowers. They were just
dying on the vine.
And they were grumpy. And I was shining like a glowing light. And Dory's like, "You're doing really well on this." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing really well on this."
Surprisingly. Oh, and Dory, she gets to eat one little Brussels sprout. She's like, "Oh, I got to go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah, I had to wait how many days to get home and make it happen, make the magic happen. While you, on the other hand, were like, "I'm feeling energetic." And look at me up first thing in the morning. "Bye, girls. See you later." And I'm like,
They're dying. I'm running around like a crazy fool. Yeah, it was great. So when I came home, I was like, okay, but you're supposed to eat vegetables and you're supposed to love vegetables and you need vegetables for your nutrients and blah, 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 all the same kind of chatter that happens with all of our diets,
yep.
Right? When you do some research, you start to realize that meat can be extraordinarily healing, that it carries the vitamins and the minerals and all the things that you need, and you don't necessarily need anything else. But that being said, I did a 23andMe, and my ancient history is very strongly Neanderthal. Neanderthals would eat 80% protein, 20% vegetables. Now, Nancy and Dory both come from a native background. Native people eat more plants. They eat more nuts and seeds. They eat leaner meats. They eat less fat. Like, these are normal for their ancestry. So it makes sense.
My volume seems
Sorry?
Low. There we go. I was told my volume seemed low, so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it makes sense if you look back at your ancestry and you find out where your ancestors came from and how they ate. You can kind of see how your body might go that way. For Nancy and Dory, carnivore didn't work for them. I mean, I've never seen 2 more miserable keto people than these 2 when they didn't have their vegetables.
Yeah, and you were a bit shocked when I said I was going to at least try 1 week of carnivore. Oh, she's like, "What?"
My mouth fell. I was shocked.
Yeah, but you know what? Because I want to really dig into your challenge and what you did, because you started your own 30-day challenge and did 30 days. But I will say this. I did 1 week of carnivore. I was absolutely miserable. And when I came off of it, and I did it for 6 days, I kept for day 5 I was done, but I pushed myself. And on day 6, I was like, okay, here we go. And I made this big, huge antipasta salad, me and my sister-in-law, full of fats and
It
olives
looked
and
beautiful.
oils. And it made the magic happen again. I was able to go to the bathroom. But since I went back, like just that one little change up that I made, my scale has gone down 4 pounds in a week since I stopped the challenge. It was not moving like that prior to carnivore. I will say that much. I think that by just changing things up on my body, said, wait a minute, she's changing things. We got to reorganize. So when I came off of carnivore, not only did I go to the bathroom and because I was up to 187 on carnivore, and I knew it was because I just had not pooped and I had not pooped and I had not pooped. So once I came off of it, bam, I went right back down. It was sitting at like 183, then 182, then 181, then 180, then 179. And I got on the scale this morning, 178. And my weight has been steadily dropping since I just made a little switch up on my body.
Well, and that's a really important point to make, Nancy, because, you know, everybody gets into this rut because, you know, when you're eating the standard American diet, you eat certain things over and over again because those are the things you like. They're easy. They're what your go-tos, yep. Right? Well, you do the same thing with keto and you get into a routine of what you're eating. Well, your body gets bored. Mm-hmm. You have to change it up every so often. If you're kind of, you know, wavering up and down, that's when you need to try and tweak your diet. Now, for me, it doesn't seem to matter what I do to tweak my diet because you can ask me, I've gone up with my fats, I've gone down with my fats, I've gone up with my proteins, down with my proteins, I've cut my carbs way down, I've done carnivore. I'm still not losing weight, which, as Carrie Brown says, if you're still not losing weight after all of that, something else is going on. So I need to look a little further. But what has carnivore done for me? Well, the first thing is it's removed my boobs some more.
Yes.
No. I am tired of my boobs giving themselves up for tribute. Can I just say that? This is not the Hunger Games. I want to keep some boobs. These bras that I bought right before KetoCon, I now can fist myself with them. You know, I can do the double fist in my, yeah. You know, like right here, it just, yeah. Oh, nice.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I probably need something because, wow, like I have half of me in the cup that fit a couple months ago. So, you know, boobs are giving up for tribute again. I've got a much smaller waist. And the thing with carnivore, you guys, is when you're doing it, everything shifts from your extremities to your midsection and then it disappears. Yeah. So here's what happened was I did a major shift. And then right before I was about to do my measuring for my 30 days, my body started to shift and everything shifted to the middle. So I ended up with only a net loss of 3/4 of an inch and I went up 2 pounds. And I was like,
no.
Really? Really? But you know what? You should see me in that bikini now.
Yes. Oh my God. You wore that bikini.
From the weekend.
You wore that bikini at KetoCon and she was like loud and proud about it. I mean, and she looked great. But the difference after 30 days of carnivore, even without a huge weight loss, the inches, the different structure of your body, I mean, she's going to have to post her before and after pictures over here, y'all, because I'm telling you, I was like, wow. And that's, again, you know, somebody asked me, how can you weigh 181 pounds and fit into a size 8 when I'm 170-something pounds and I'm still a 12, 14? I just really, I mean, we all carry our weight in different places, first of all, you know, so that can make a huge difference. But I'm kind of an all-over fat girl. I mean, I'm more pear-shaped, but I do carry weight pretty evenly all over my body. And I've experienced the same thing you have just doing keto where, you know, like everybody's like, ooh, your arms are getting, your face is thinning down. Your legs are just shrinking like nobody's business. But right in here, I'm still like, well, you know, well, I did do my first measurements. I think my hips were at a 54, and I think my waist was at a 49. Now, my waist is down to a 37, and you know, magical stuff that I don't understand.
Linda says she's still doing carnivore, was going to stop today, was kind of nervous too. Why are you nervous to stop carnivore, love? I'd love to know why.
Let us know, Linda, why you're nervous about stopping. But I felt the same way, honestly. And I still find myself having my carnivore days. I don't know what that's about either. I mix it a little bit, but part of me didn't mind it. I was bored out of my mind. I missed my vegetables. I was having difficulties, but at the same time, I had a feeling of, I'm okay. You know, I'm all right. And then when I said I was going to quit, I was like, I've already had bacon and eggs. Well, heck, you know, I'll just go. I mean, I'm not really that hungry. I'll eat just a few more pieces of meat and call this day done, you know? And then finally I gave in to the olive and the antipasta. Oh, here she goes.
Okay, so Lindy said I had mad cravings on my first day off carnivore. Yeah, I have cravings every time I wander off carnivore. As for my belly, I want to show you, because this is the dress I wore to KetoCon. You notice I'm pulling this down because it's not staying down, because all of a sudden it's too big on me. So here's the dress I wore to KetoCon. Now, Nancy will tell you that this dress was tight on me.
It was form-fitting.
There is like, you see that? This is my belly now.
No.
My belly was here when I was in Texas.
Yes.
I have lost 0 weight, but I have lost almost all of my belly.
Yeah.
So this dress, by the way, is how a medium fit me, and that's why I didn't buy the medium. Look how big this dress is now, Nancy. Look how much of it I can
you
grab.
Look fantabulous. You need to send that to me.
What, this dress? Yeah, but the thing is you're already smaller than me, so it's going to be way too big on you.
That's not possible.
Yes, no, it still is possible, because you're in a size 8. I'm not in a size 8 yet. You're 179 pounds. I'm still 188 pounds.
I'm being brave here, y'all. Let me set this back here just a bit. But, you know, I have bought my very first pair of jean shorts as an adult.
You look adorable.
And I don't know if you can see them or not.
Look at you! Oh my God, Nancy, you look fantastic.
I actually have a little bit of, you know, they're not pinching my legs off. Every time I've ever bought shorts, they want to squeeze my legs off. They are size 10s. These are still size 10s, but I do have a little room in them. I still have a little give, you know, and I can get into an 8, but I don't feel comfortable in that spot yet. So I'm sticking with these 10s. Just because.
Well, my 5'10s are getting too big that I bought at the beginning of the summer. So I have that kind of room, but I have lots of room in my legs because my legs have been going.
Mine too.
Like they're amazing. It's amazing. So what else has happened for me? So I want you to look, I'm bringing you kind of close and take off my glasses. So in here and across my nose and on my chin is usually bright red because I have rosacea. This is always burning skin in here. Going on carnivore completely cleared up the rosacea, completely. I have, like, whatever red in color you see is because I was out on a boat on Sunday.
Yeah, but
I was out on the water on Sunday. That's why I have color in my face now, but it's not from rosacea. And when I went keto for a couple of days last week, and man, the first day, my skin started to burn. By day 2, this was all red again. So
yes, you know, I will have to say keto for me, you know, in itself helped with a lot of my skin conditions. And I didn't have like rosacea per se, but I started getting like little breakouts and you know, adult type whiteheads and stuff. And they were just, and skin tags. We were talking about skin tags Monday night. And I've always said I need full coverage because I had flawless skin in my 30s and even probably up to about 45 years old. And then from 45 on, it was like I tanked with my weight, with my diet, with the alcohol, with the, you know, the whole lifestyle caught up to me hardcore. And, don't get in my way. So anyways, but since keto, I have had such a wonderful, you know, improvement in my skin that now, heck, I went down and spent $8 on some of that True Match Color Foundation. I mean, it's just like, it's so light. And I'm like, but that's all I need now. And how nice is that? I don't have to glob stuff on my face to try to fix the damage that I did to me. So.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and the other thing I'm loving is this whole anti-aging effect that this diet has. Because, wow, look at me from even, you know, 18 months ago, and I look way younger.
Yes.
And my body feels better. And you know what? For those of you that are having joint issues, carnivore is fantastic for making your joints feel better. So Sharon says, I really loved carnivore, but I'm so constipated no matter what I did. I lasted 8 days. And it happens. Like, again, you know what, guys? You're going to have people out there that are going to say carnivore is for everybody. You're going to hear me say carnivore is not for everybody.
Yes.
You have to figure out what way of keto works the best for you.
Exactly right. Now, I'm gonna toss this one to you. I've covered it before, but I do have a lady who, fat adaptation. You are such a sciencey girl, and I would like to hear your take on it. She wants to understand it. She's keto 5 months now, I think, Jane. I think that's where you're at with it. Do you have a really nice, let's see, do you have a nice explanation of how fat adaptation works and how to know when you're adapted?
Okay. Fat adaptation works because you're taking your body and you're changing it from a glucose burning machine to a fat burning machine, right? As a side effect, you're getting ketones. You're not chasing ketones. You want to become fat adapted. And fat adapted means your body is effectively using fat for fuel.
Yes.
Right? And as it is effectively using that fat for fuel, your liver, as a side effect, is producing ketones, which is another clean, efficient fuel for the brain. But here's the thing. Everybody looks at the ketogenic diet and says, I need to be in ketosis. No, you need to get fat adapted.
Yes.
You need to be able to fast. You need to be able to do 16 to 8. You need to be able to do OMAD if your body will allow you. You need to be able to do longer fasts. That's when you know you're fat adapted, because now your body's running on the fat that's in your body. And it's not relying on sugar to give it the energy that it needs. Glucose is the easiest form of energy for the body. Fat, it's got to work a little bit for it. So it takes time for it to change over from one to the other. So here, can I just go on about pea sticks just for a minute? I know you guys, I know so many of you are visual people and you need to see that you're doing something right, okay? Here's the thing about pea sticks, the keto pea sticks. They tell you whether or not you're spilling ketones. End of story. The color doesn't matter. The color doesn't matter. It does not mean you're dehydrated. It doesn't mean you're spilling this. It doesn't mean this. It doesn't mean that. What it means, it's just like a pregnancy test. If you're spilling ketones, it's going to show you you're spilling ketones. That means your body's producing ketones, but you're not using them yet. When you can't see that on the pea stick anymore, that means your body is efficiently using those ketones, and that's what you want. That's fat adaptation.
I got to give a shout out to Susan, because she only ate one meal, was not hungry this afternoon at all, so excited about all of this. We tweaked with Susan this week. I had a chat with her. We went over, she had a really good plan. She just wasn't eating enough. She wasn't getting enough fat. She wasn't getting enough calories. She wasn't getting enough protein. And it was all just too small, and she wasn't making any progress. And in just a few days, life is changing for her, and I'm super, super, super pleased. Yes!
I love that. Good for you, girl. You know what? Here's the thing. On keto, there's 3 things that people are afraid of. People are afraid of the fats, people are afraid of salt, and people are afraid to eat.
Yes.
This is not a deprivation diet. You should see how much food I eat to look like this.
You talk for a second. I have to get my clock somewhere.
Oh, so guys, if you're not losing weight, if you're stalled, first thing you need to look at is, are you eating enough food? If you're not giving your body enough fuel, it's going to be holding on to everything that you're putting in your face. Secondly, if you are not taking in 2 teaspoons of salt every day, 2 teaspoons, guys, measure it out. I measure mine out. I've been keto since February 2017, and I measure my salt out every single day still, okay? 2 teaspoons of salt above and beyond what you put on your food. And I know I can feel you all going, oh my God, that's so much salt. But let me tell you, if you do not get 5,000 milligrams of sodium in a day, you're going to struggle to lose weight. And getting 2 teaspoons of pink Himalayan salt mixed with some no salt so you get your potassium is the best way to get that in, okay? Thirdly, and Nancy talks about this all the time, eat your fats.
Yes.
Eat your fats. For some of you, if you're a hyper responder, you don't need as much plate fat, that's fine. Most of us need the fat. Most of us need it for the mental clarity, for women in particular with hormonal stuff. You need it. You need it. You
have to
need
have
it.
that
So eat
fat.
it. Don't be afraid of it.
Yes.
Don't be afraid of it. I eat lots of fat now. You know, I like I've said, I'm not losing weight, but that's not because of my macros. That's not because of my macros. I am looking this healthy because of my
Yes.
macros.
And you do. You guys, like I said, you have to post some pictures. I mean, she is just transformed. I mean, she looks amazing. Susan says, oh, can I put a teaspoon in all this water I am drinking? Definitely. I tell everybody, if every time you get a glass of water and you put a pinch of salt, if you only drink one a day, you know, you're not doing yourself any good. But if you love to drink water, always just grab a pinch of salt, pinch of salt, pinch of salt, and then make sure you liberally salt your food. I do a little blend. I use the new salt or light salt and the pink Himalayan salt. I mean, like I was doing my eggs, I sprinkled that light salt all over them when they were done, and I adjusted it just as is. When I was cooking my zucchini, I went ahead and pink Himalayan all of that. So I'm using different salts at different times, but I'm using them liberally. I really, you know, I used to be one of those people who would, you know, never touch a salt shaker in a restaurant or add extra salt or anything. Now I salt everything, and I, you know, drink it in water and get it in there. We are at 3 minutes from 7, and at 7 o'clock, we're going to try to see if Dr. Nadir Ali is going to come on. Now,
Awesome.
yes, he's going to offer us information about cholesterol, heart health, keto, and y'all, I got to ask him about the salad that I watched him make on YouTube. It was like a monster salad, but I need more information about it. So
this is Dr. Ali that we listened to at KetoCon,
yes.
right? He is amazing. You guys, you have to listen to him. I listened to his talk at KetoCon. He is fantastic. He was totally worth the cost of admission just for him.
Isn't that amazing? And I didn't get to meet him. I didn't get to listen to him. I tried to listen to the doctor's things, but they were so sciencey. She's the girl who was eating it all up and translating for us. But I can handle videos and stuff like that to a point. But we're going to bring him on here in a few minutes. Wendy, girl, we've got to do another Wellness Wednesday together. You want to do next Wednesday? I'll book it now.
Yes, we'll do next Wednesday because this feels like it wasn't enough.
I know. I could go on and on with you forever in a day. I love you so much.
I love you too, my friend. I wish I could hug you. We're like a whole freaking continent apart, but I adore your face.
Love you too.
Thank you for having me. Namaste, everybody. I love you. Thank you so much.
All right, y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Remember, I'm going to say it anyways. High fat, moderate protein, low carb. Get you some and flip back on because I'm going to go out and then I'm going to go in and we're going to see if we can bring Dr. Ali in. Or maybe I should just pop you out and see if I can bring him in, and that way we don't have to do all of this.
That's an even better idea. Why don't you do that? What? You're so smart. Bye, girls.
Let me see if I can. Oh, well, you know, when you got all those people, it doesn't let you, like, pop them out. There we go. So here we are. It's Wellness Wednesday, and I hope he is popping in and can see that I'm going to stay on here, and I'm going to adjust this just for a minute. Bree, you are late for our spirit warrior, Wendy. Y'all just catch the replay because she's so good, and I definitely want to do this with her again. Let's see. Calendar popping off and giving me information. So I am super excited. I asked Dr. Ali last month if he would be interested, or his team. I just sent a message through that direction. And yes, they were, but I never got a confirmation. And just shortly, a few hours ago, I received a message, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, we forgot to confirm a time. Yes, we will. And I'm like, yay. So hopefully we can just keep this going, you guys. I'm going to scroll through here and see if we, while we're waiting, if we can get some questions answered. That's what I was trying to do. I drank a really fizzy Dasani. I stopped at the convenience store on my way home, and I was like, oh, that's so bubbly. And I just keep wanting to burp. Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you, Sharon. how do you get rid of belly fat? Lost 32 pounds, but still have a big belly. Me too. It'll come in time, Betty. It really will. And I like what Dr. Berry said about carb-loving bacteria that lives in your gut. When he mentioned that, I was floored. It was like a light bulb went off for me. Think about this. You know, for most of us who are eating keto, we eat a certain amount of carbs, and our body adapts to those bacteria. What little bit of carbs we have that we're eating, we still have bacteria loving, carb loving bacteria. There we go. Strike it, reverse it. What movie is that from? So I asked him when I did the carnivore challenge, I said, why did I feel so like keto flu-ish when I shouldn't have, when I'm already fat adapted? He said, because you still have carb loving bacteria. And I will tell you, since doing the carnivore and then reintroducing, I don't know, I don't know what happened. It was either elimination, carnivore, combination, but my stomach has flattened down dramatically because I am down to a 37-inch waist, and that is at my widest spot. Now when I'm sitting down, I still got my roll. See, there it is, popping right over the top of my jean shorts. But if I sit up straight, you know, right here at my widest point, I am measuring 37 and a half inches. So maybe reduce your carbs. One day, you know, lower them down a little bit, maybe then, you know, 1 or 2 days. And then maybe up them a little bit and see if it doesn't help you. That's just a suggestion. It's just a thought. But yeah, I'm amazed at the inches that I've lost just since stopping carnivore. I don't know. Let's see here. Let's see here. And we're going to just see if we can pull Dr. Nadir in. Let me grab my granddaughter's tablet. Hopefully she didn't kill it today. She was here. Hold on. And I don't know. Oh, here she is. She killed it, and she got it dirty. It's all good in the hood. It's all good. I will come over here and use Messenger. Yay! Yay! Oh, that's so bright. I'll turn this on. Oh, wait. Oh. This is all techie stuff to me. I'm going to scroll up here now. Oh, there we go. That is scrolled up. Yes. Guys, if you have the opportunity, go ahead and hit your share button, share to groups, share to your page, tag your friends, tag your family. I'm super excited, not only with the Wellness Wednesday, and I agree with Wendy, we needed that whole time, I think. We could have talked a lot more than what we did. Just because we had this little schedule interruption, and I would just hate it if we couldn't get Dr. Nadir on here. Because I was loving Wendy. Were y'all just loving her? Is she not awesome? Oh, look, here we go. Let's see, Keto. Who are we talking with? Belinda, blah, 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 Kathy. No, we're not. I got so many messages up here. I'm going to just look at my messenger real quick, y'all. And see if I can. Here she is. There we go. This is the lady. Where am I? I want this. I want this one. Here we go. We are live. I'm just going to send that off and see if she gets it. And that way, yeah, that's her personal, not just the page there. And see if that makes a difference. Oh, look at me being all techie. Alrighty, guys. It's so quiet. No questions, no comments. I know that one of my ladies, I guess, said that she actually has Dr. Ali as her cardiologist, and I am super excited. Now, his assistant or the person he works with. I just met her today, talked to her on the phone. Her name is Melissa, and she said, you know, just be patient. Oh, well, there she goes. Let me see if I can respond to this here. We are live. Let me see if it will let me respond. No, it will not. That's why I am telling her, have Dr. Ali come on as himself. Let's see, we should be good. There we go. Okay, so they are trying. They're trying right now to come on, and I am like, woohoo, I hope we make this work. And it's always kind of hard in the beginning when you're trying to get somebody new, and especially if they're not real familiar. But, you know, Facebook settings and privacy settings and all that good stuff, oh, it can be a pain. We've got to work on Carrie, too, because she's like, well, I was in there, and it just wouldn't let her. So we've got to go in and set settings, set. Oh, good Lord Jesus. Jeez. There we go. Let's type a message. Last minute stuff, y'all. Last minute stuff. Is going to the event, and I told them, and we are in group. Let's see, we are in group. You're going to the event. Nice. We're not in the event. We are live. Okay. Go to Nancy Childress in the group live, not the event. And I hope I spelt okay, because I just looked all techie there, didn't I, y'all? You guys, we can try this. There we go. Let's see. Sometimes you just have to take a second, and then we will make it happen. And he might come on under Melissa's profile, because she's like, at least I have my phone, and he, you know, doctor is a cardiologist, not a social media tech. I see a few of y'all are dropping out there. And see if we can't keep this going. I'll do my best, you guys. I'm super interested, and what I'd like to talk to him about tonight is it's going to be landscape. Here we go. I think they found us, y'all. What I would like to talk about is cholesterol. You know, we have talked about this with Dr. Barry. We've talked about it with Nurse Cindy. But here we have the opportunity to actually talk about with a cardiologist about, you know, heart health, high cholesterol, triglycerides, things that, you know, we want assurance on, but sometimes we still feel a little bit nervous about our numbers. So I think that is going to be fantastic if we can get him doing. Okay, we will take a pause for the cause. How's daughter doing? She's very emotional right now. She I don't think she will mind me saying that what took place was that he effectively got her kicked out of her own home without her children, and all she has left is her vehicle, and even he has the title to that, you know. So that's what she's dealing with. And she got a job. She is staying with one of her neighbors temporarily. She's going to start this job next Tuesday. Two of the people who made donations used PayPal versus the donation, the fundraiser tab, because they lived out of country, so they used PayPal. I was able to take that money and transfer it right over to her in California, and so she had money for gas and lodging or food or groceries, and so she's doing that. She has been to the courthouse, and I'm going to explain this. I don't think it's too far out of line to say this. And tell me, I mean, I'm from California, but I haven't dealt with the legal system or the court system there for 20 plus years, almost 30 years. But I went to court with my daughter out in California. And do you know, through this whole divorce, through this whole thing, her ex has an attorney through his job that they pay for it. She represents herself. Not one time has this judge ever spoken one word to her. Not one. He signed off on whatever this man requested. Whatever he says goes. She has filed repeatedly over about him breaking marital agreements, not paying support, doing all of these different things, and didn't even know she was divorced, y'all. Didn't even know. Never got served papers. The last thing she signed was last fall, and it was a marital agreement, which was supposed to be a temporary thing until the court decided to finalize the divorce. The judge signed off, finalized, never served, and when she went here a month ago to get, I don't know, I probably said too much because I'm on a roll. Yeah, 50-50. No, this man, like I said, she filed a restraining order him. She filed emergency hearings. I mean, just the things that are going on. And I won't go into those details of the situations. But the same judge, and he's the only judge over family court, denied. Not once has he ever talked to her. She has no money for an attorney, no money for housing, you know. So she did get a job, and hopefully it'll be enough to help her. The money that y'all are donating, I'm just letting it sit for a little bit, because she's like, Mom, I'm running on that money that was sent to me, and I'm all right for now. I said, well, baby, let's just let it sit for a little bit, see if we can get as much as we can together to see if we can get legal counsel. I said, because I think once you get an attorney, that man can quit doing what he's doing. And I said, and I got to find some way to file a grievance against that judge, because I wonder how many other women he's done this to. She's never even talked to him, not once. So how would he even? It's not like he's prejudiced against her personally, but I think he's very biased when it comes to women. So, anyways, crazy, sad. Oh, they cannot figure it out. Can you see the live? The live. Oh, I wrote, can you see the lover? Oh my God. You ever do that? It's not even autocorrect. God. But yeah, that's the situation out there. So, oops, I feel bad. Oh gosh. Live, can you see the live? Okay, I did do it right. Oh my gosh. I've got people still saying they're coming into this thing, you know. All we have to do, let's see. Thank you so much, y'all, for continued prayers, because she does. Today she was very down. She, yeah, well, he's not. He is in the video. Okay, he is in there, and he is on my friends. Let's make sure that he, let me see if I can find him. Guest requests, my viewers, allow your viewers to request to join. Let's see, search Nadir. It says invite group members, and he is a group member. I accepted him. I put him in our group. Ugh, this is driving me absolutely nuts. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Carol. It is not good at all. So let's see here. He's saying hello, but I see that he does not have a green thing on him at all. Hello, Dr. Ali. We are trying to figure this out. I think it would be in your settings. I don't know if you're following along in our friendship. Yes, I saw that, Melly. I saw that, Melly. Gosh. Oh, and then I, boop, out she goes. Okay. Yes, Melly, I see that. I see that. My goodness. I see him, but he is still not on my friends. Him not allowing. Okay. Request sent. We have a request sent, and we are going to approve it. And I think we're going to get Dr. Ali. I'm so excited. Yes. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Dr. Ali?
I'm good. I'm sorry you had such tough time connecting to us, and we could hear you all this time, but couldn't get through, I guess.
You know what though? It is Facebook. It's like a little maze you have to get through to get to certain things. It's difficult. But I'm so pleased and honored to meet you finally. I've watched your YouTube videos. I was at KetoCon. I had my girlfriend watch you because I can't handle science. It's hard for me. But we are so happy to have you here. We have been waiting to get some really good information about keto and heart health and cholesterol and triglycerides. And yes. Okay, here we go. Can you hear me okay now?
I lost you for a second. I could see you, but yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, good. So I was just saying how pleased we are to be able to get really good keto advice from an actual, our heart, our health, cholesterol, triglycerides, and we're excited for you to be here.
Well, I'm excited
guys,
too.
I have not.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I think that the connection is a little bit off, so the audio is coming in and going off. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
I can hear you fine. I'm going to ask, if you can hear me, I'm going to ask you the very first question because we worry about cholesterol more than anything. We hear that we don't have to worry about our LDL anymore. Is that true?
So I think it depends on who you ask. And if you ask people who are in the keto community, and if you ask some very important people like Dr. Malcolm Kendrick, I think that LDL is probably not the culprit that we should be looking at.
Okay.
Because high LDL can actually do a lot of very good things for you. You should look for cholesterol quality, not necessarily worry about how high your LDL is.
Okay. And what are the benefits of good LDL, high LDL? What can it do for you?
It can do a lot of good things, but before we talk about LDL, maybe it is important to look at why we need cholesterol in the first place.
Oh, tell us. Yes.
So every cell in our body, every single cell in our body needs cholesterol. Cholesterol is a part of the outer lining of the cell, which is called the cell membrane. And it provides it structural integrity. It gives it the structure and the function so that the membrane can protect the cell inside. So without cholesterol, no cell will be able to survive.
Wow, and we are made up of billions of cells.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay.
Let's talk about brain function.
Okay.
The way our brain receives messages is through neurotransmitters. There are chemicals in the brain that carry out signaling between one brain cell and the other. And for them to carry out the signaling, the cholesterol is absolutely needed to provide integrity to the neuroreceptors, which is the place where the chemical signals sit at to communicate with another brain cells. And those neuroreceptors are made primarily of cholesterol rafts. So without cholesterol, your brain would not be able to formulate memories, do cognition, do thinking, a fact that really is never truly emphasized.
Yeah, you're right. I've never heard anybody even speak that before. I've only, we only hear that, we need, there's a bad cholesterol, there's a good cholesterol, and if we don't, eat right, then we're going to have a heart attack, and our LDL is going to cause that. So now we're finding out that, cholesterol is how we function, and without cholesterol, we could not function at all with our brain or our cells, anything.
So Nancy, let's place this a little bit more in context. Melissa is here from my office. She's helping me connect to the Facebook page. And we were in a little bit of stress because we could not connect to you. And we would not be able to handle that stress without the cholesterol being there. And
wow.
the way I explain that is that cholesterol is taken up by our adrenal glands, and it makes this stress hormone, which is called cortisone. So the substrate, in other words, the raw materials that the adrenal gland uses to make cortisone is cholesterol.
Oh, that's fascinating and amazing at the same time.
So let's talk a little bit more. The reason we are active, the reason we make muscles, the reason women look different than men in terms of their beauty and their other feminine characteristics depends on sex hormones. And would it surprise you to know that the raw material for sex hormones is cholesterol that is derived from the LDL? The LDL actually supplies the cholesterol to our ovaries and to the testes to make estrogens and testosterone.
That's fascinating too. I mean, that takes my brain along a whole another line of long questions that I don't think I could even have time to get into that tonight. But that's again unbelievable. I never knew that. I'm sure most of us never knew that.
And then let's take it a little bit, two more examples about cholesterol, because we can never completely finish the number of good things that cholesterol does for us. But let's talk about two additional things. We make bile acids. Bile acids are made by the liver into the gallbladder, and that bile acids are then released into our intestines, into the duodenum. And without bile acids, we would not be able to absorb fat for energy. We would not be able to absorb fat-soluble vitamins. And bile acids come from cholesterol.
I'm seeing a pattern here of how important cholesterol is to our body.
Right. Now, one last thing is that there is a substance in our muscles which is called CoQ10. And CoQ10 is absolutely necessary for us to be able to function. When you get up and move, the muscles need to have energy to use so that the muscles can be active. And the way muscles derive energy is by using CoQ10 as a spark plug to burn fuel. So like in other words, if you have a car engine and the engine does not have a spark plug, it cannot burn fuel. Similarly, if our muscles don't have CoQ10, they cannot burn glucose, which is sugar, and fat for fuel, and then we would have no energy. Would it surprise you that CoQ10 is a cholesterol byproduct? It is made in the same pathway in the liver through which cholesterol is made?
That, yeah, I would be surprised. I would. It's just amazing. I mean, who knew that cholesterol was the core of who we are? Pretty much is what it sounds like. It is the base of all of our functionality.
I couldn't agree with you more. And if you look at evolution, cholesterol has been present ever since the first cell ever came on Earth. And it's a highly conserved molecule. In other words, it's been there in every biologic system ever since life started.
Wow. So we have a member who asked, should we take CoQ10 or does our body make enough cholesterol to create its own CoQ10?
I think the best way would be for our body to make its own CoQ10, unless we are messing up the body by taking cholesterol reducing medicines. At that time, you may have a CoQ10 deficiency. And even then, I'm not sure that taking CoQ10 would help as much as our body making the CoQ10 on its own.
Okay.
Example of the car.
Now, Dr. Ali, I have a question for you. I've got two, but I'm saving the last one for much later because these are some important questions. But, you know, we go to the doctor. My husband just recently had a big thing with his heart and a scare, and the doctor just immediately, the cardiologist wanted to put him on statins and blood pressure medications, but mind you, his LDL was 160, his HDL was 49, and his triglycerides were beautiful. So it wasn't because of that. It was because they found a tiny little blockage in a little bitty branch right on the V off of the main artery. And so he put him on 6 different medications. And I was mad at that doctor. I was so mad. My husband's not keto, I am. And I questioned him, and he got really mad at me, and he told me, "You make me mad." I said, you know, can diet change this little bit of blockage? He said it was just a tiny amount, but it was where it was located. He was concerned. And so a whole bunch of medication for my husband. And is there a test you can do? Is there a test you can ask the doctor to run on cholesterol to find out what kind of cholesterol it is? Is it good cholesterol? Is it bad cholesterol? Is it the kind that actually causes clogging? And can diet alone fix it?
So those are all some very good observation. So first is that I want your viewers to understand that when we talk like this, I'm not giving individual medical advice.
Yes.
But let's take the example of evaluating a cholesterol profile. So before we evaluate cholesterol profile, we need to understand that when you are measuring cholesterol in the bloodstream, you're not actually measuring cholesterol because cholesterol is not carried in the bloodstream as such. Cholesterol is a fatty molecule. It doesn't dissolve in blood. The example I give is that if you take a beaker of water and you put oil in it, it does not mix. Similarly, our blood is like water and cholesterol does not dissolve in blood. Okay. So our body has designed these intricate method to carry cholesterol, and it carries them in these boats. One of the boats is LDL. So the LDL has a cover, an outer cover, which is made of protein and a polar compound that makes it dissolve in blood. And that permits it to carry the cholesterol and triglycerides, which is fat, in the bloodstream. So the first aspect of a good cholesterol profile is not to see how low or high it is, but to evaluate cholesterol quality. And I think that good cholesterol quality is present when your triglycerides are low. When your HDL level is relatively high, I think that probably a good number is 50. And a good number to look at would be triglycerides to HDL ratio. If that ratio is less than 2, then I would say that your cholesterol profile is good. Now, I have a disagreement with most of my colleagues about LDL. They call LDL as the bad cholesterol. And I think that is completely wrong. I only think that it is called the bad cholesterol because drug companies like to sell drugs to make it lower. Because LDL does many, many good things in the body. And LDL is of good quality when it is large and fluffy, and it is associated with high levels of HDL and low levels of triglycerides. So when you take that scenario,
yes,
go ahead, Nancy.
Go ahead. I was
So
just agreeing with you. I do that sometimes. I'm just fascinated. Go for it. Sorry.
So when you take that scenario, then you have to see what is the LDL doing in our body that is beneficial. So you have damage to the cell. Like there is injury going on in our cells all the time. When the cell gets injured, it needs to repair itself. The LDL supplies cholesterol to the cell so that the cell membrane can be repaired. And this is shown beautifully in many biochemical studies. Now, would it surprise you to know that LDL is one of the primary mechanisms through which we defend ourselves from bacteria and viruses?
Yes, it would surprise me. You are full of surprises. Yes, sir. That is surprising to me.
So when our body gets infected with bacteria, the LDL provides many mechanisms by which it neutralizes bacterial growth, by which it neutralizes inflammation. These bacteria put out some chemical molecules into the bloodstream that cause inflammation. And one of the primary mechanisms by which we neutralize inflammation is through LDL. So, go ahead.
Can I ask you that in my brain, I'm thinking I'm keto. My inflammation seems to be gone 100%, and yet my LDL is up. Is it because it's done its job and now it's just at a free-flowing high state versus constantly low and fighting these kind of things? Is that what it is?
So you are saying your LDL levels are high?
Higher, yes.
Right. Well, that's a good thing. Like, for example, if you take a person and you happen to check their LDL just before they get an infection, and then you take them right after the infection and you check their LDL, the LDL levels will drop because LDL is being used to fight against the infection.
Ah, yes. Oh my goodness. That's just that makes sense.
And these experiments have been done to some degree in humans. The data is not as great because there is no incentive to study LDL and infections because it doesn't make any money. But it has been beautifully demonstrated in rat studies. And I think I showed some of that in my KetoCon presentation, as well as the one I did recently at Keto Fest. We would also be remiss if we don't talk about the primary function of LDL. And the primary function of LDL is to transport energy to the cells of the body. Because we already said that triglycerides don't dissolve in blood. And in order to carry triglycerides, the body packages the triglycerides into the LDL. So the LDL floats around into the bloodstream, goes to the cells, and releases triglycerides so that they can be used as energy.
Wow. Never, ever, even ever heard it broke down like that.
One of the ways I try to explain that is the following way, and that is that they took a group of 10 volunteers, healthy people, and they made them go on a 1 week fast. So they did not eat anything for 7 to 8 days. They just had water and salt. So they checked their LDL levels at the beginning of their fast and at the end of the fast. So if LDL is the mechanism with which you transport energy, your LDL levels should go up at the end of the fast compared to before the fast. And there's a reason for that. So the reason is that when you don't eat, you run out of carbohydrate stores within 1 day. Our body can store no more than about 400 calories of carbohydrates in the liver. So if a person stops eating, the carbohydrate stores run out within a day.
Okay.
Whereas we have unlimited quantities of fat storage. So after 1 day of not eating, you're primarily dependent on burning fat through your fat reserves for energy. So if that is the case, your LDL levels should go up. So in this study, the LDL at the beginning of the study was 110. At the end of 1 week of fasting, the LDL had gone up by 70%, had gone up to 190. Now, if you explain this to me, go ahead.
I'm fascinated. I think I'm one of my very good friends who started keto this year, and you know, she was type 2 diabetic, and she's watching it just now. She just popped in. Isn't that amazing? And she went to her doctor a few weeks later. She's off of those medications, but her cholesterol, her LDL went up so high, and she's been fasting. She did the intermittent fasting. I mean, and she's just thriving, but she did freak out because her LDL shot up rather than coming down, and she thought that it was the natural occurrence that all of her numbers should come down when doing this, just like her A1C came down, her glucose came down, but then her LDL just went up, and I'm like, I think you're okay. I've been hearing all about this. LDL is going to go up, but you're going to be okay. So I'm happy to hear all of this for her and all of us.
Well, you know, we started a low-carb keto program about 5 years ago. And this information about LDL going up on a low-carb diet was known to some degree, but it was largely uncharted territory, because if you read the literature even now, it says that people who go on a keto diet, about 30% the LDL remains the same, 30% it goes down, and 30% it goes up. And I think that's all wrong. In 5 years of practicing, my observation is that if somebody goes on a true low-carb diet, and the healthier they get, and you would define health as reduction in blood pressure, improvement in diabetes, lowering of their insulin levels, lowering of their inflammation scores. And I'm not even talking about weight loss, which could be considered as one of the factors. As all these factors improve, the LDL will inevitably go up.
Yes.
And I think that's a good sign. I don't think that's a bad sign.
This is great news. This is such great news for everybody. Again, if it comes to testing, is there a specific test that we should ask a doctor or cardiologist to perform that would explain the type, or should we just not even worry about it and just continue to eat clean and eat keto?
I think that a cholesterol profile, a simple cholesterol profile, which is not expensive, is a good thing to do, because it tells you as to how good your triglycerides are. The lower your triglycerides, the better it is, because that means that you are burning fat. You're not leaving any fat energy in the bloodstream. You don't want to have a lot of fat energy in the bloodstream, which would indicate that you have high triglycerides. The second thing is that you would want to look at your HDL levels. You want to make sure that it's indicating that you are insulin sensitive. I would also check insulin levels, blood sugar, inflammation markers on a periodic basis. And for people who are worried about having high LDL levels, I would strongly consider getting a CAT scan for calcium scoring. So like, yeah, what a CAT scan for calcium scoring is that it looks at the amount of calcium in the blood vessels of your heart. It's a very simple test. It's a non-invasive test. It doesn't require any needles. It takes maybe about a 2 minute of scan time. And if you have calcium in the blood vessels of the heart, you have buildup of plaque, which means buildup of blockages. If you have no calcium in the blood vessels of your heart, essentially one can be pretty sure that you have the lowest risk of having heart disease, because calcium scoring is much more powerful predictor of future heart disease than any other test we can do.
Okay.
So I would say if you have high LDL cholesterol and you're worried about it, follow your calcium score over time and see if it changes.
One other question, and I've heard that a combination, actually, I think I got it off of one of your videos, and I started doing this as a backup, but I've got vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. Is this something that we can take to really help make sure that we avoid, will this avoid calcium scoring, or will this just ensure, better cardiovascular health in a combination?
So, very good question. I just want to plug in that vitamin D is a cholesterol byproduct. The sunlight hits the skin and converts 17-dehydrocholesterol to vitamin D. And vitamin D is not really a vitamin, it functions as a hormone. And at least the initial studies show that if you have normal levels of vitamin D, it reduces your blood pressure, it reduces the risks of diabetes, it keeps the calcium in the bones and prevents the calcium from getting into the blood vessels of the body. And as far as vitamin K2 is concerned, vitamin K2 interacts with vitamin D. So in other words, vitamin K2 makes chemical changes to an enzyme that is needed to keep calcium in the bones and prevent calcium deposition in the blood vessels of the heart or the rest of the body. And vitamin D is ineffective at activating that enzyme chemically. And so basically, vitamin D and vitamin K2 act like a tandem. They help each other.
Okay. Good job.
So I think both are important.
I'm on them. I am all on them. Okay, and lastly, you have been so gracious, and I know we kind of went over, but that was so fascinating, so educational, and I'm sure everybody just adored this. And this one is not a serious question for you. I watched you make your salad on YouTube.
I did make the salad on YouTube, and I'm glad you're asking it as a non-serious question. But since I made that salad, I have learned a lot more new information. And I would say that fiber, I think fat is an important part of human diet. But I don't think fiber is a necessary component of human diet. So I made that video. I feel like I should remove it, but it does give some useful information.
I loved it. Now, I mean, we were just talking about this in the episode just before with one of my collaborators, Wende, and we all have our own keto. I'm a kind of keto girl who likes to get a little extra fiber. It works for me. It makes me feel good. I have great results, good stats. And some people just can go all the way carnivore, and they're good for that. So when I watched your salad video, I was fascinated by the flavor combinations. There were so many powerhouse flavors in there, and I was just like, do you eat the whole, you say, I eat this every day, and I was like, do you eat the whole salad? Were you eating the whole salad, or were you just like, oh, here's the salad, and this is what I take for the week? I was like, wow, that's a lot of fiber, a lot of fiber.
Well, it was a big salad, but you need to know that I do at least 26 miles of cycling every day. It's 13 miles of cycling to work and 13 miles back.
Oh,
Plus,
then you
I
can definitely
probably get
handle it.
10,000 steps.
Yes, okay, I 100% understand now. I do. But I had to ask that. It's amazing. And again, I was like, wow, look at all of those ingredients. But while we're on the subject of the salad, I also thought it was fascinating how you talked about the live fermented vegetables and how important they are to our health. I found that very fascinating and natural way to get the probiotics in or the prebiotics in.
I would say so. I think that also another reason why the fermented vegetables are good is because they provide vitamin K2 too. In case you say, hey, I don't want to take vitamin K2, fermentation is the way vitamin K2 is made. And since we are not very good at fermenting anything that we actually absorb, it's important for you to get some fermentation products, whether it is cheese, whether it is fermented vegetables, or whether it is supplements like taking vitamin B12 if you are a vegan, or taking vitamin K2 if you don't get that adequately in your diet.
Well, thank you so much for all your information, Dr. Ali. It has been my pleasure to actually get to meet you. If you anytime, I leave open invitation. We would love to learn more about heart health and how our bodies work. I found this so fascinating and interesting, and you broke it down in such a way that we could all understand.
Well, thank you, Nancy. But can I use about a minute of your time to promote the Low Carb Houston Conference?
You sure can.
Okay. So in Houston, Texas, which is probably one of the largest metropolitan areas in the country, for the first time, we are doing a Low Carb Houston Conference. It's being run at University of Houston Clear Lake. And the way your viewers can look at it is by just putting lowcarbhouston.com. So one word, lowcarbhouston.com. And we're going to have 20 of the world's experts come in. Hopefully we'll have Ken Berry. We'll certainly have Nurse Cindy. We're going to have Jimmy Moore come up there. And they are all going to talk about different facets of low carb diet, intermittent fasting, about vitamin K2, vitamin D. And we would love to have your viewers come and attend the conference.
Yes.
The conference is being run at very low cost. So in other words, none of the speakers, none of the organizers are going to make any money personally out of that. All the income from the conference is going to be used as expense for the conference. So we'd love for you and your friends to come.
And when is this happening? What are the dates?
Excellent. It's on October 25th to 27th of this year. So it starts at a Thursday evening, and then it runs Friday and Saturday.
Oh, I'm up in Tyler, Texas, so I'm in East Texas. So if I can make it down there, I will love to go to this and learn. And some of my favorite people are going to be there. So,
well, we invite you. Me and Melissa will invite you to come down, and you will be one of our guests. So please come down.
You've got it, Dr. Nadir. Dr. Ali. Thank you. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Nancy. I enjoyed my time with you, and hopefully we can do this again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. Okay, bye now.
Goodbye. Was that amazing, you guys? I learned so much. I mean, I was riveted. That would be the word that I would how I would describe this. I was riveted. I had no idea how cholesterol works in our bodies, or how important it was, or how, if without it, our brains can't function. Without it, our muscles don't work. Without it, we won't survive. It doesn't produce bile. I mean, It was absolutely, his name is Dr. Nadir, Nadir, Ali, Ali. And he was awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. Do me a favor and share this live because this was fascinating. And we're running this as one big Wellness Wednesday live that was spectacular tonight, you guys. Spectacular. Wende was fantastic. She was so knowledgeable about fat adaptation and what carnivore is and how to, you know, the things. Melly is messaging me and saying thank you. And then to get Dr. Ali, finally, he got in and taught us so much, and I can't wait to see him again. You guys have a wonderful, blessed night. Remember, fats first, moderate protein, low carb, and get you some.